Hi everyone, my name is Cassie Panera. I am an assistant director here at Webster's Career Planning and Development Center at the Webster Grove campus. And today we're going to be talking about some on-campus job search tips and tricks, things to keep in mind as you're looking for an on-campus job, specifically at the Webster Groves campus. So a couple things to get us started or just to kind of be aware of what the process is like. So Webster Human Resources is actually the department that handles the student employee onboarding processes, and they manage the rules and regulations surrounding the hiring of student staff on campus. With that said, each department individually at Webster is responsible for hiring their own student workers, and then they work in tandem with human resources to get the students onboarded and make sure that they're following all the correct hiring practices and things like that. Um, uh, all on-campus jobs should be posted in Handshake, and I'll show you how to find those specifically in a minute. But that is something that Human Resources asks the departments to do when they are hiring student staff, is to make sure that those job postings are posted via Handshake. But each department does their own hiring. So the IT department will hire their own students. The library will hire their own student staff. So just keep that in mind. Each department manages their own hiring process there. And something else to just keep in mind is applying to on-campus jobs here at Webster, at the Webster Groves campus, is a fairly competitive process due to the limited amount of roles that are available for student workers on campus. So we will go over to Handshake. So this is what it should look like when you have logged into your student Handshake account. All students should be given access and created an account created for them in Handshake once they have been enrolled in classes. And so you will automatically be given an account, and you will just sign in with the same Webster credentials that you would when you sign into your Webster email. You use that SSO login. The place to find how to get into Handshake is if you go into the student page of connections. When you're logged into your connections, you scroll down here and you click on the Handshake link here, and then that will bring you, it should SSO log you in and bring you to your home page here. So to get you started, you want to make sure that you have your resume and other documents uploaded before you apply to jobs. So you'll go to this drop down menu over under your initials here in the right corner and go to My Documents. And then this is where any documents that you may have uploaded prior will be, or you can add new documents in any of the following categories. When you add a new document, you can name it, select what file you want to upload, and then you give it a document type. This is important because any document type that is labeled as resume will go through the Handshake resume review process. So any resume that's uploaded by a current Webster student will go through this process, and until it has been reviewed by someone in our office, it will have this pending status. So if your documents have a pending status or a changes required status, then your document will not be released to an employer, even if you submit an application and attach that document. So just keep that in mind. Typically, our turnaround time for providing feedback on resumes through the Handshake review process and can be anywhere from 3 business days to perhaps a little bit longer when we have busier periods at the beginning of the semester. So we just ask for your patience in that. And if you get a document that has been reviewed and then it gets labeled as changes required, you should go into the document here and scroll down to the bottom, and it will show you down here the required changes will be listed specifically in the comments down here, and then also emailed to you to discuss what you need to do to fix your resume to allow it to be released to employers. Once you have fixed a resume, if you want to upload it directly within the same document slot that you've used before, you can click Edit Document and then select a new file and then update it. Any new updated upload will automatically go back through the resume review process and be in that pending status. So once you have a resume that has been approved by our office, then that will allow you to be able to release that document to employers when you are ready to apply to a job. So let's go ahead and look at that now. So if you go to the Jobs tab here on the left, and then you select the on-campus job filter under all filters, and then show the results, this will list all of those jobs that are currently posted for on campus at Webster Groves. So as you can see right now, there are only 7 job postings available right now. You're able to save the jobs. And so if you save a job, that will go over into the saved job section where you'll be able to revisit. It'll bring it up to the top once you're logged back in if you would like. And then when you're ready to apply, just make sure that you've read through all of the different roles and responsibilities to make sure that you are meeting the minimum qualifications for hiring. And so, for example, this writing coach position, the deadline is August 1st for applications. This is when that posting will close. And then the fine print here says that this is a posting specifically only for undergraduate students. So if you are a master's student, you are not able to apply to this specific posting. It details here that if they are able to hire master's students, that will show up under a different job posting. But it looks like right now they don't have that posting open. So just things to keep in mind. You are able to see the pay per hour and different start dates for different roles based on what is listed within each role. You are also able to see, who may supervise depending on what it says. So this position is supervised by the Office of Student Engagement and Campus Activities Graduate Assistant. And so that is who is potentially doing the hiring for this job position here as well. And so when you're ready to apply for a job, you can click apply, and then you will select the resume, so the approved resume. And then you will select the cover letter that you have uploaded. If one is required, it will ask, and then you're able to submit the application from there. Once you submit an application, any jobs you've applied to will go into this My Jobs section here under this drop-down menu on the far right. And from here, you will be able to see any ones you've applied to. Your jobs that have not been reviewed yet will just show up as pending review. If an employer has looked at your application, it will show up as reviewed. And we typically advise students to keep in mind that their applications will probably not be reviewed right away, and they may not even get reviewed until those job applications close. So some of those job applications that we just looked at don't close until October. So you may not get any updates until that job application closes and until that hiring person is able to look through all of the different applications that come through. Additionally, your application may not ever get updated beyond that pending or reviewed status. Typically, employers don't have enough time to go through and update the status of 300 student job applicants, and they will only update the ones that they are considering moving forward with in their hiring process. So just keep that in mind as well. That may not ever update the status of your application. If you need guidance on different things regarding what should be included in a US style resume, I recommend visiting our connections page, the Career Planning and Development Center, and going to the application materials page and to view a variety of the guides that we have available that will show you exactly what it is being asked for a US style resume and what should not be included. Some of the biggest things that will get you to have a changes required resume review are including too much personal information. If you include a picture, we'll ask you to take it off. If it's over 2 pages, we'll ask it to take it off. If you have specific references listed, we ask that all of that come off the resume for the US style standards. And so you'll see those specific changes that are required in those comments and via email, as I mentioned. And additionally, as I talked about before, because the on-campus hiring process is so competitive, you do want to make sure that any jobs that you apply to, that your resume and cover letter those application materials are tailored specifically to that job posting. So if that job posting is looking for someone with prior leadership experience and you have that, make sure that you detail that in your resume specifically. Talk about what is most relevant with each job application that you submit. With the job prospects on campus being so competitive, if you're not able to obtain an on-campus job right away, something else that employers look at is campus involvement. So you can go to Involved at Webster to take a look at all of the different things that may be happening on campus that you could get involved in. So it includes events, it includes organizations that you can join. And so the organizations tab over here will list all sorts of things. And so these may be by passion project or by specific study or major topic that you're looking at. It may also include identity-based groups, or just things that you are interested in for fun. So one of the biggest clubs on campus is the pickleball club. Another great one is the cricket club. The chess club is very competitive and they actually tend to win a lot of awards. And so joining one of these and being able to list this and different skills or abilities that you've been able to obtain through campus involvement is another great way to add onto your resume if you're unable to get an on-campus job right away. Additionally, you may consider wanting to join the leadership teams of any of these clubs. So whether or not you want to run for president or secretary or treasurer for one of these clubs, that will help broaden your leadership skills. And then if there is a club or a passion project that you are interested in, but that doesn't have an organization already existing around that topic, you can connect with the Student Government Association and create your own on-campus organization. And that will look great on the resume as well. So again, thank you so much for taking time to overview this video today. Hopefully it will help you in that on-campus job search. And we wish you luck in the process.